The views and opinions expressed during Eye on the Triangle do not represent WKNC or NC State student media. Your dial is currently tuned to Eye on the Triangle on WKNC 88.1 FM, HD1, Raleigh. Thanks for listening. In today's episode of Eye on the Triangle, reporter Ellie goes in deep into a story about the economy and health, and North Carolina News Service talks about a farm bill that could help food banks across North Carolina.
Good morning and welcome back to Eye on the Triangle. I'm Ellie Feaga, delivering you your Monday morning Triangle news. Raleigh received a special visit from President Biden last week where he visited Abbott's Creek Community Center on Durant Road, giving a speech about his economic record. President Biden announced that $82 million would be invested into expanding broadband internet access in North Carolina. Quote, high-speed internet isn't a luxury anymore, it's an absolute necessity. Biden also discussed his plans for new infrastructure in North Carolina, including a railroad from Raleigh to Richmond, Virginia, and new bridges in the Outer Banks. Local college students will be pleased to know that President Biden visited a cookout after delivering his speech. If you're curious what the president's cookout order is, he got a bacon cheeseburger, fries, and a black and white milkshake, a vanilla milkshake with chocolate syrup. I have to say, Mr. President, I think that was an excellent choice, and I will be trying that soon. Next up, NCSU Prevention Services are attacking the opioid crisis with the increase of Narcan on campus. Opiate overdose deaths have increased by nearly 500% since 2020. There is a misconception that you are safe from opiate overdoses by avoiding certain drugs, but unfortunately this is normally not the case. Accidental fentanyl exposures happen every day. The best thing we can do is to be educated and prepared for situations like this to come up. First, we can learn to recognize signs of an overdose. Some of these signs are dilated eyes, slow heart rate, blue nails, lips, or skin, and of course, unresponsiveness and irregular or stopped breathing. If you notice these symptoms in someone, administer Narcan and call 911. Narcan is an over-the-counter nasal spray that is available at most pharmacies. For NCSU students interested in getting Narcan, you can actually contact Prevention Services to receive a kit. According to the technician article, you can email Jeffrey Fay from Prevention Services at jdfay@ncsu.edu to receive a kit. And lastly, always call 911 in this situation, no matter the case. Though people worry about getting in trouble, Good Samaritan laws protect you so that if you call 911, you have legal protection. Lastly, let's take a look at sports. NC State women's basketball had a triumphant victory against Duke, 72-57. Center River Baldwin had just come off of her injury to play this game, which according to coaches and players was a boost in morale that ultimately led them to triumph. This is of course taking nothing away from freshman Zoe Brooks, who recently scored 19 points in one game, a career high. Last week, NCSU men's basketball faced a tragic loss against the Virginia Cavaliers in a nail-biting game ending 59-53 in overtime. But we are anxious to see a rebound home team win tomorrow night at 9 o'clock against the Miami Hurricanes. This concludes your Monday morning news report. Now it's time to get back to the music. Once again, I'm Ellie Feaga with Eye on the Triangle, and you are listening to 88.1 WKNC HD1 Raleigh.
In a state where nearly 11% of households face food insecurity, North Carolina's food banks are grappling with an urgent problem. The nonprofit group Feeding America says the Farm Bill, a crucial piece of legislation that is renegotiated in Congress every 5 years, holds the key to addressing this issue. Vince Hall with Feeding America says there's a significant gap between the amount of food donated and the actual need in local communities, especially in rural areas. He says that's where the programs within the Farm Bill come in.
And we're asking Congress to double that funding for the Emergency Food Assistance Program, because that program moves food from local farms to local food banks, and it helps to close the gap between the food that's been donated and the food that's needed.
He emphasizes the current Emergency Food Assistance Program is still operating on a 2008 cost basis, which limits its impact. In North Carolina, 1 in 6 children are in need of healthy meals. Hall says in their plea to make changes to the Farm Bill, his organization is partnering with the Farm Bureau, International Dairy Farmers Association, and the Pork Producers Council to raise awareness on the issue. He says if the bill isn't updated soon, the current hunger gaps will only widen.
If Congress doesn't make that additional investment in emergency food assistance, we may have a crisis where not enough food is available to feed people in need, where distributions have to be closed or distributions run out of food.
He says they're also working to make it easier for people to advocate for themselves and speak to leaders within their own communities. This information is found on the website feedingamericaaction.org. For North Carolina News Service, I'm Shantia Hudson. Find our trust indicators at publicnewsservice.org.
This has been Eye on the Triangle. I'm Erie Mitchell, your guest host right now. Thank you so much for listening to this. You can listen to back episodes of Eye on the Triangle at wknc.org/podcast under Eye on the Triangle, or just any of the other podcasts we have on WKNC. Thank you so much.